Good evening and welcome to the Humberside Ice Arena for this Autumn Cup semi-final second leg, the Humberside Seahawks versus the Durham Wasps. After the first leg, the Wasps were the ones that came away with the victory, 8-6, so the Humberside Seahawks have to make up that 2-goal deficit. Icing for the Seahawks this evening will be number 20, Andy Donald, number 35, Ian Young, number 2, Paul Dixon, number 5, Lee Barley, number 6, Paul Simpson, number 7, Stuart Carville, number 8, Sean Johnson, number 9, Ross Lambert, number 10, Stephen Johnson, number 12, Anthony Johnson, number 14, Nigel Rhodes, number 18, Dale Lambert, number 19, Andy Steele. Missing from this evening's lineup with fractured ribs is number 21, Jim Lynch, he doesn't ice, number 27, Bobby McEwen, number 91, Scott Morrison. And for the Wasps this evening, well, their lineup will be number 20, Chris Salem, number 29, Frank Killeen, both of those netminders, number 2, Malcolm Bell, number 3, Robert Wilkinson, number 5, John Huxley, number 7, Damien Smith, number 9, Rick Brabant, number 10, James O'Connor, number 11, Paul Smith, number 12, Tim Cranston, number 14, Mike Blaisdell, number 16, Ivor Bennett, number 18, Michael Tasker, number 55, Stephen Cooper, and number 66, Ian Cooper. The player coach for the Wasps this evening, and indeed for the whole of the season, is Paul Smith. The disappointment for the Wasps this evening is that defenceman Mick O'Connor is not icing. His appeal against a 6-match suspension for spitting in the first leg against Stephen Johnson was upheld by a British Ice Hockey Association special hearing at Newcastle last night, so he's suspended for this return leg. The playing conditions for this evening, if the Humberside Seahawks and the Durham Wasps end up level on aggregate after this match, then it will go into a sudden death playoff. And underway then. This the second leg, and important, and the Humberside Seahawks looking for a flyer. Comes out to Lambert, Ross Lambert, Scotty Morrison flips it back to Carville. Carville shoots, and a good save from Salem. And it's a goal in there. Within the first 15 seconds, Ross Lambert pulls back the deficit to 1. And the flyer that the Seahawks were looking for has happened. Effectively, 7-8, 1-0 on the night. The Seahawks get what they're looking for. So, Salem's beaten very early. And I think bench coach Johnson will just take a pause there as it comes in from Dale Lambert. His shot there, brought out then by Mike Blaisdell. Blaisdell going all the way. Blaisdell tries shot goal, knocked away. Andy Donald not called upon there. This is going to be a rough and tumble game. And the Seahawks lead by that goal as early as the 15 seconds into the game. 1 goal the deficit then, brought away by Ian Cooper. Ian Cooper losing his skates on the blue line. Rick Brabant then, and a good save coming in there from Andy Donald. And the Seahawks breaking. It's deflected through and cut out eventually by Cooper. Carville fires it down the ice. Sean Johnson going after it, along with Stephen Johnson. Stephen Johnson to Sean Johnson, knocked inside. To Anthony Johnson. And the second line on very early here. It's fired through. Remember, Jim Lynch is sitting it out, and with the loss of Pallister to the Billingham Bombers, decidedly short on defensive duties, cut out there by Cooper, who's checked by Simpson. Shunted down the line and on the end of it, and it's an offside decision. Simon Murray then, our linesman from Oxford this evening. The officials, Simon Kirkham, Simon Murray, and the referee Nico Toman from Mansfield. Cutting off, Johnson gets it, knocks it inside. Robert Wilkinson does the tidying up. And it's flicked through. Brought away in a blue line shot, and Donald knocks that one away from Cranston. And Simpson bringing it out of his defence. Looking for Rhodes, doesn't find him. Anthony Johnson in there, but cleared up for Cleared out of defence, but it's put out. Morrison trying to find Stephen Johnson, and Stephen Johnson blocked out. And Morrison also by Chris Salem, netminder for the Durham Wasps this evening. So we've had a fast and furious start to this evening's game. And indeed, it's as near a full house as you'll see at the Humberside Ice Arena. 2,200 people packed in here. The prize for both sides and the fans, a trip to the Sheffield Arena on November the 23rd, and they're to play in the Autumn Cup final against Nottingham Panthers. They defeated the Cardiff Devils in the other semi-final, 7-6 on their home ice last night to gain the first spot. It comes out to Mike Blaisdell. Mike Blaisdell shoots it in. It coming out to, and a shot off target there. Good shot off target there from Paul Smith, player coach. And a breakaway here for the Seahawks. Push through. And an infringement. Offside is the decision. So Brabant and Morrison going in. Murray, linesman Murray with the drop. Dale Lambert not able to find anybody with that. Flipped out by Stephen Cooper. Shot down the ice. And there's a chase on here, and Dale Lambert will be first to it with Brabant there. Fired around to Ross Lambert. Ross Lambert loses out. And it's knocked away by Andy Donald. And that's up in the air and out of the arena. Tim Cranston and Stephen Johnson then in, and it's Johnson who wins the race for the face-off. Flipped down the ice. And it's knocked in. And good stick handling there by Stephen Johnson. Stephen Johnson flipping it through, and a chance coming in here, and that's number 2. A wonderful goal! Anthony Johnson, the Johnson Brothers trio, pull back the deficit, and there's less than 4 minutes gone in this first period, and it's 2-0. Anthony Johnson scoring the goal then that makes it all level. .332 then, and the Seahawks are on fire, to quote Tony Gregg's well-known saying. This could be another one, and it should have been another one. Oh my goodness me. Anthony Johnson missing when he should have put it on target. Going down the other end, and Andy Donald having to save. A low snapshot from the blue line. And that's the 2 lines. .15-17 then left in this period, the first period, and a reminder of the score. It's all level on aggregate, and 2-0 on the night to the Seahawks, having come out really meaning business. However, have to be very, very careful and wary of this. Don't want to burn themselves out. Remember, the defence is short-handed, with Jim Lynch being out of the lineup this evening because of fractured ribs. So it's going to mean a lot of ice time to Messrs Lambert, Simpson and Carville, as it's brought away there by Brabant. Brabant cuts inside, finds Tim Cranston. Cranston's shot is gloved away by Andy Donald, but it's not cleared away from the danger zone. And good play by Brabant there, securing the puck against the boards and bringing play to a close. Morrison and Cranston then comes out, fired down and able to be collected by Paul Smith, and now it's a chase for the puck, and Ross Lambert wins the chase, gains possession, still has possession, and he's forced out of it by Smith, but still hounded by Lambert, and Lambert regains possession, flips it into Morrison. Morrison finding Carville in front. Will he shoot? Deflected wide by Cooper, and knocked in again then, and Morrison looking for the puck and strangely giving it away. So Cranston flicking it across. There's a chance there coming in for Damien Smith, and he really should have made that count. And the whistle goes, and there's an infringement perhaps. Brabant then in for the Durham Wasps. They trail by those 2 goals. The aggregate score 8 apiece here, with 8 minutes of the first period having elapsed. And it's shot down the ice looking for Morrison, but Morrison not able to get onto it. And good defensive work there by Ross Lambert, but he only succeeds in giving it away to Blaisdell. And Blaisdell gives it away again, and there's a whistle. And there'll be a penalty on this one, and it's Ross Lambert going into the box. 2-minute minor for roughing then. First power play of the evening for the Durham Wasps. Can they get themselves back into the game? We'll have to see. The Seahawks, having had one power play so far this evening, they didn't make that count. They came out and scored 2 goals in the first 3.5 minutes to level the tie on aggregate. And now we're looking at a power play for the Durham Wasps. Brought away then, a good attacking position. Down centre ice. And held up. And Cranston looking for it, and Cooper coming in, but his pass wasn't good enough, and it's fired down the ice, relieving the pressure. And Chris Salem getting in an awful tangle with himself and managing to extricate himself, which he should have done. And brought away by Ian Cooper. Ian Cooper feeding Blaisdell. Blaisdell across the ice to Brabant. Blaisdell again then, looking for the shot coming in, and Donald does well to parry that shot from Cranston. Cranston making his debut tonight for the Durham Wasps, and the chance coming in here. Oh, what a wonderful save. Stephen Cooper putting that away, but he tried to slip it past, and there's a breakaway here, and could there be an opportunity? And it's blocked out by the combined efforts of Salem and Smith. And really, one has to say that Stephen Cooper should have made it 2-1, made the power play. He over-elaborated one field, and Donald was able to get his foot there and kick it away. 10-18 then played in this, the first period. The Seahawks leading by 2-0. Reminder of the score, 8 goals apiece on aggregate. In this, the Autumn Cup semi-final. The winners to play the Nottingham Panthers in the final at Sheffield on the 23rd of November. Flipped in there, and pass trying to find Anthony Johnson. He doesn't do so, and it's brought away. And Smith going into the slot, but hounded out, and the pass didn't arrive there anyway. So it's Brabant. No, it isn't. Oh, and a little bit of niggling going on there. Damien Smith, the culprit, unseen by the officials. He gets away with it. A little bit of holding as we come away. And Paul Smith then. Paul Smith. And a good double block out there. And there's a chance coming in here, and Donald had to be aware. And Donald again, and Donald puts his hand on it and catches it. And again the chance goes begging. Damien Smith getting the second bite of the cherry. Not able to put it away. Underway again then. Now it comes. Cooper flips it down the ice. It's caught by Dixon. Dixon to Simpson, and a nice little delicate pass through there. And Johnson chasing his own hopeful 1-2 off the plexiglass. Doesn't get there. As number 12, Tim Cranston, ex-Pillion Bombers, gives it away. And I think there'll be a penalty here, and it certainly will come into Stephen Johnson. And maybe for hooking. Yes, 2-minute minor for hooking. Stephen Johnson, second power play then underway. When we score check then, 2-0, the Seahawks lead. 7 minutes, 12 seconds left on the clock in this, the first period. And Durham Wasps on a power play. Brabant looking for Cooper. That's Stephen Cooper. Stephen Cooper fires it down. Fires into the corner, finding his brother Ian Cooper. Comes out to Mike Blaisdell, who shoots from the point. And Andy Donald's big hand catches it and says, "It's mine and you're not having it." Brabant then going in with Ross Lambert. Brabant winning it, feeding it out to Blaisdell. Blaisdell again to Brabant. Back to Blaisdell. Looking for the opening. Blaisdell again, but the defensive line of the Seahawks holding out well. Blaisdell peels off, and it's shunted round to Cooper. Oh, and a chance in there, and there's the goal. And it's Brabant who gets the rebound after the first one is blocked out by a stick of the Humberside Seahawks. So Rick Brabant puts the Durham Wasps on the scoreboard. .13:25 and it's 2-1 the Seahawks lead, and that was a power play goal. And well worked as well, the Durham Wasps biding their time until the opening was there. Whipped around the corner to Stephen Cooper. Stephen Cooper into the slot. Brabant's first effort blocked away, but he managed to get the second one with the aid of a deflection past Andy Donald, and a shot coming in across the face again. And it seems that the Durham Wasps are fighting very hard for this. They lead by that one goal on aggregate. 9-8 now on the night. It's 2-1 to the Seahawks. Whipped across, and they cross again. And Andy Steele, the man there, getting some ice time. First time we've seen Andy Steele tonight, and one feels that this match could go any way, and the crowd are sensing this and getting behind their respective sides. And it's again Blaisdell. Blaisdell's shot is knocked away. And Scott Morrison strangely quiet so far this evening. It's brought away by Stuart Carville, who's just happy to fire it down the ice, where it's collected by Stephen Cooper for the Wasps. Shunted upfield then, up the ice, past the blue line. Shot coming in, and that's Andy Donald made a bit of a meal of that, really. It didn't look that difficult a shot. It wasn't hit with any venom. But perhaps he got caught a little bit wrong-footed and had to struggle to keep it out. Face-off gets us going again then, and Morrison with the puck comes out to Ross Lambert. Ross Lambert shoots, but it's deflected wide, and Lambert picks up the resulting deflection. Steele in there, hounding Brabant, but Brabant's stick play good enough to get him out of trouble. Blaisdell then. Blaisdell shoots and parried across the face of his own net by Andy Donald. A venomous shot on target, but probably just too much on target. Lambert then. Lambert across the ice, finding Carville. Carville motoring through the red line and to the opponent's blue line. Tries the snapshot, and Salem deals with it without any trouble. Brabant then with a 2-on-1 possible. Cooper going there. Brabant holding it up, trying to find Cooper in the slot, but doesn't do so. Coming up on the outside is Paul Smith, whose shot is off target. May have just clipped the outside of the post, but still, never mind, it doesn't count. Carville then, when Carville will fire this run across the ice, and he does, and he finds Stephen Johnson, who's just come onto the ice. Stephen Johnson making progress through the middle, but losing his way, and also losing the puck. Carville then sets it going on his own blue line, whips the pass across, finding Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson held up and checked very well on the blue line by Robert Wilkinson. And again, the Wasps defending quite adequately here. The Seahawks not able to string the passes together and make the moves. However, we'll just have to see, and Dixon knocks down the pass and tries a blue line shot on target, but Salem having little difficulty in holding that one and knocking it away. Brabant then challenging Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson winning the battle. It's flipped up in the air for Anthony Johnson to fight for. He loses out the fight to Stephen Cooper. Cooper feeding Damien Smith, and Brabant going on the outside, and will he try the shot? He does. It's blocked and causes Andy Donald no problems in the Humberside Seahawks goal. We have 1 minute left in the period. 2-1 the Hawks lead on the night, but trail 9-8 on aggregate. Knocked down then. Lambert, Ross Lambert, skating hard for the blue line, trying to commit defenseman, tries to whip the puck in from behind the back of Salem's goal. It's blocked out by the combined efforts of Cooper and Salem, but not cleared. And again, he's in there, and the puck's coming flying about, and it comes out, and the shot comes in, and it's blocked out. And Cranston on a one-on-one with Andy Donald, and will he put this one away? And he's taking it too wide. Closed his own angle down, and Donald was equal to it. And now the breakaway is at the other end with Nigel Rhodes. Nigel Rhodes feeding Ross Lambert. Ross Lambert and Scotty Morrison. Scotty Morrison loses it, going one way and the puck going the other way. Rhodes then, given the opportunity, and that's the end of the first period. And it's gone the Seahawks' way. They've managed to pull back at least one of the 2 goals deficit. They lead by 2 goals to 1 after the first period, and the scoring went as follows. Ross Lambert in 15 seconds giving the Seahawks the lead. That was stretched to 2-0 in 32-32 by Anthony Johnson, and that meant that the scores were level on the night. However, Rick Brabant pulled back a power play goal on 13:25 to leave the score at the end of the first period. The Humberside Seahawks 2, the Durham Wasps 1. Second period underway then. Seahawks winning by 2 goals to 1. And still some little work to do if they're to secure the place in the final of the Autumn Cup. Ross Lambert then, Ross Lambert, Scott Morrison trying to whip it across. And a quick breakaway by Blaisdell. Blaisdell, good skating from him. Handed wrist shot off target. Brought out by Cooper, Ian Cooper. To Brabant. Breaks on the red line for Scott Morrison. Scott Morrison trying to go all the way, but he's hounded out by the combined efforts of the 2 Coopers. Forced away. Comes out to Dale Lambert. Scott Morrison. Rhodes, Nigel Rhodes trying to find Ross Lambert. And Carville and Dale Lambert backing off as Brabant skates at them. There's a good checking job there. He feeds Rhodes, and Carville goes on for the return. Carville has the puck, and he tries to find Johnson. Stephen Johnson, but doesn't do so, and Brabant breaks through the blue line, brings it into centre ice, tries to find it, and Blaisdell tries a cheeky little flip around the back, but it doesn't fool anybody as it's fed out to Carville. Carville declines the invitation to get the puck and leaves it to Stephen Johnson, who loses out to Blaisdell, and Blaisdell skates hard through the red line, blue line shot, and Donald saves that one with his stick, and then it's flipped out of the arena by Dixon. Way again, and Stephen Johnson in there, losing out the battle with number 12, Cranston. Cranston wins it again, and Dixon has to do solid work, but Cox, should I say Andy Donald, clears up at the back. And the score is still 2-1 on the evening. Dixon in there with Michael Tasker. The whole unsavoury proceedings brought to an end. So, face off again then for the Seahawks. And this time it's won by Sean Johnson. And Stephen Johnson whips it round the back, and Salem tries to knock it out, and he doesn't. And then he falls on his backside as he tries to pick the puck up and bring the play to an end. And a goal coming in there! And that all stemmed from sloppy work from Chris Salem, giving it away. And the scorer, so far as I could see, was Sean Johnson. I beg your pardon, it was Anthony Johnson. Sean Johnson the assist. Right, so there we have it, 3-1, and it's level on aggregate again. And really the sloppiest of goals. First Salem trying to cut it out, then falling on his backside when he was trying to pick the puck up and kill the play, and not really recovering as it was whipped across by Anthony Johnson. Another chance in, Ross Lambert scores! And that's the lead for the Seahawks. And just as in the first period, the Seahawks have come out with all guns blazing in the second and took 2 quick goals. Ross Lambert this time stretches the score on the night to 4-1, and the lead to the Seahawks by 1 goal. So, well, 2 goals in 3 seconds then on the clock First Anthony Johnson, 22.39, and then Ross Lambert, 22.52, and it's turned the entire tie around. From the Durham Wasps, looking as though they were the ones in ascendancy. The Seahawks, for the first time, certainly this evening, have nosed themselves in front. Morrison then, looking for somebody to pass to it, loses control, but regains it. Ross Lambert in there, and it breaks out, and it's Blaisdell, and outside of him is Cooper, and it's held up, and it's locked in there to Brabant, and Brabant. Dale Lambert just gets back and gets enough of Brabant's stick to stop him from doing anything about it. Oh, and the softest of goals! Just a little backhand flick by Brabant. And it went between Andy Donald's legs, and he didn't know where it was. They wraps it all up again. It's 4-2 on the night. Brabant, well, it's all happening here. And you can hardly believe it. With Brabant then. And Brabant didn't get any of the action. Ian Cooper was the man. I thought Brabant got a touch on it as it was going through, but no, it's been accredited to Ian Cooper. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter because it's the Durham Wasps back in the tie, and it's all level again. Comes out then. Oh, and a good shot there from number 12 for the Seahawks, Anthony Johnson. And as we come down again, number 11, Paul Smith, player coach for the Durham Wasps. Stephen Johnson barged out of it by Cooper, Stephen Cooper this time. And it comes out to Simpson. Simpson finds Dixon. Dixon will feed it in. And a little dummy over the top of it from Anthony Johnson. But it comes out again. And a shot comes in from Dixon. And it's all action, and both sides are firing on all guns at the moment. Bit of relief there for Stephen Cooper, but not for very long, as Simpson retrieves the puck and finally gets checked, forechecked on to the boards, and the puck is lost in the melee.
That's what we were talking about. How can you play hooky like that?
Underway then again as we go. And it's Carville clearing his own lines, trying to find Scott Morrison. Scrappy piece of play there, Dale Lambert to Ross Lambert to Morrison checked on the blue line, fairly says Nico Tillman. It continues. Ian Cooper going down the left wing position, hands over to Rick Brabant. Brabant checks back, lays it back on the point position to Wilkinson, who fluffs his shot. And a good dummy there by Ian Cooper. Gives possession to Brabant, but Brabant is hounded out. Cooper again, and Cooper trying to get it around, and Donald knocking the net off its moorings, and play coming to a halt. 4-2 then, 3:13 left in this period. The scores all wrapped up at 10 apiece on aggregate. Deep into the second period, and it's Brabant and Morrison going in. Brabant wins it. Shot coming in. Oh, and a chance there, and that's it. Is that in? It is. Ian Cooper. A double save. Ian Cooper gets his second goal then. A double save. And it's the Wasps who take the lead on aggregate now. 4-3 on the night. And 11-10 on aggregate. The goal coming, 36-57 in the second period. And Cooper gets his second of the evening. And the Wasps third of the night as they gain the ascendancy as the tie swings backwards and forwards. 2 goals apiece in this period then. And the Wasps doing well, and Andy Donald having to stretch out a leg and knock that one away. A dangerous shot which came in on the turn from Brabant. Cooper to Brabant then. Wilkinson waiting there for the pass, which doesn't get to him. Cooper gets it. Ross Lambert then. Ross Lambert hammering it into the boards, trying to get the Seahawks underway, but it only succeeds in coming out, and nobody knows where it is except Blaisdell, and Blaisdell feeds Brabant, and Brabant and the nets of its moorings, bringing it to a halt, and Blaisdell is not happy, and he's telling Nico Toman exactly what happened and what his version of the events are, that Andy Donald intentionally knocked the net off its moorings. Toman giving him the benefit of the doubt, probably. Stephen Johnson then, and Tim Cranston going in for the face-off with a little over 2 minutes left in this period. Reminder of the score: Seahawks 4, the Wasps 3, and a chance coming in there, and a marvellous save. And really, the Humberside Seahawks, if they want to keep any interest in this trophy, are going to have to tighten up. In the last 2 minutes or so, they get gifted half a dozen or so chances to the Wasps. Stephen Johnson bringing it away then, to the resounding boos of the Wasps fans who have travelled from Durham this evening to be here for the match. Stephen Johnson then getting it after the rebounded from behind the back of the boards, and that punt is tried to be dumped, but Carville gets it on the point and shoots, and a chance, and it's a goal! Carville's shot comes back off the goalkeeper, Chris Salem, and the scorer, Sean Johnson. Well, it's gone one way and then the other. Johnson, Carville's shot from the point. Salem only able to knock it away with his pads, and Johnson snaps up the rebound. 5-3 then, back to level pegging on aggregate. So, 1 minute and 14 left in this period, and it's back to all square on the night. Well, say that again, it's back to all square on aggregate. The Humberside Seahawks leading 5-3 on the night. Anthony Johnson. Oh, chance came in there for Carville. Good piece of net minding there. Last minute of the period then, as Blaisdell gets himself into an awful tangle, and it's shunted back to Dale Lambert. Dale Lambert to Carville. Carville will push it down the line. He does so, but only finds Stephen Cooper. Stephen Cooper whips it across to Wilkinson. Wilkinson's pass breaks down, and Ross Lambert, can he extend the lead then? Well, we'll see. A helmetless Anthony Johnson gets in there, and Scotty Morrison getting the opportunity. Not enough power in the shot, and it was kicked away by Salem. It comes out again, and a wicked deflection from Dave Lambert's shot. Dave Lambert's shot taking a deflection. Nobody knew where it was, but it didn't end up on target. And 66 then, Ian Cooper had the opportunity perhaps to shoot, wanted a little bit more time and find himself closed down. I don't think there'll be any more scoring in this period now, as the period ends. Second period ends with the score 5-3 to the Humberside Seahawks, and that was underway then, third period, and it's all level on aggregate as the Seahawks lead by 5-3. And we could be facing overtime here. Andy Donald flips that one away, played up by Stuart Carville, but returned again. Scott Morrison then comes out to the point, deflected wide from Stephen Cooper. Cooper instrumental. No icing there given. And Chris Salem for the Wasps guides it to his fellow defenceman. Knocked across then. Mike Blaisdell. Blaisdell to Brabant. Brabant trying to flip it in. And Ross Lambert getting enough stick on that to knock it away. Lambert looking to set the Seahawks going. Finds Morrison on the red line, through to the blue line, trying to draw the defence in, flips the wrist pass over the top, and it's caught by Chris Salem. In we go then, Cranston and Stephen Johnson. Cranston wins the face-off, but loses out to Anthony Johnson, and it's whipped across to Paul Simpson. Stephen Johnson looking for the pass to open up the defence of the Durham Wasps. Neither side so far this evening having had a change in goalies. Both number 20s, Chris Salem and Andy Donald, had all the ice time for both sides. So it could be that the side that makes the least mistakes in this final period will be the one that goes off to the final in Sheffield. Cranston shoots, he scores! And Andy Donald not good enough to keep that one out. A cracking shot. And Cranston pulls it back to 5-4. Ex-Billingham Bombers. Tim Cranston making his debut this evening for the Durham Wasps has put them ahead on aggregate. 42 minutes then, so the Seahawks have an uphill task now. Brabant shot wide. Comes back to Brabant off the backboard. Knocked away by Dale Lambert. Robert Wilkinson sends it around. It'll come through to Brabant. Indeed it does. Stuart Carville hustled and hounded by Blaisdell. Blaisdell then. Nigel Rhodes turns and sets the thing going again. Rhodes again. Dinks the pass out to Ross Lambert. Ross Lambert looking for Scott Morrison. Scott Morrison not able to collect it. Rhodes does. Rhodes trying to whip it out to Stuart Carville, but it gets him meshed in the back of the net. On the outside now, I say, not on the inside. And we've got another goal coming in there. We have indeed. Stephen Cooper. And Stephen Cooper ties it up at 5 apiece on the night. A 2-goal lead for the Durham Wasps then. Two goals in a minute then. Turned the tie completely around. From being level at the interval at the end of the second period, the Wasps have come out and levelled it all up on the night. Maintain their 2-goal leading margin from the first leg. And so the Seahawks, and a penalty coming in there on Tim Cranston. Nico Tolman couldn't have been more than a couple of feet away. For boarding then. Underway again then. Scott Morrison. Morrison knocks it around to Dale Lambert. Carville on the point. Will it get there? It does. Knocked across then. Pass not really all that good to Dale Lambert. Scott Morrison. Nigel Rhodes losing the puck. Stephen Cooper taking it off him, and this will be Dale Lambert's puck. He turns around, feeds it to Carville. Power play over then. Durham survived that power play, back to full strength. Really, it's up to the Seahawks fans now to try and lift their heroes. As Cranston, coming fresh onto the ice with new legs, tries to take it away. Scott Morrison turning round and turning round again. Eventually gets possession, feeds Dale Lambert, whose control lets him down, and he flips it across to Carville. Carville knocks it down the line. But Ross Lambert coming off the ice. And nothing given. Nico Tolman says he dived. The Durham fans don't like that decision, but he's the man in charge. As Stephen Johnson gets Scott Morrison away. Scott Morrison looking to get in round the back, but robbed. Carville then. Carville trying to set it going again. And it's knocked away by Cooper once again. And really, the job of work has to be done by the Humberside Seahawks. Durham Wasps can afford to sit back there and say, well, we've got the game wrapped up, it's up to you to come and get it off us. Carville then. Carville to Lambert. Lambert to Johnson. Johnson gives it away to Damien Smith, who's quickly closed out by Carville and Lambert. And it's fed out to Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson and Rick Brabant. And Bennett tries to get the puck moving for Damien Smith, but he can't do it. And Carville collects it at the back. And Carville goes and tries the shot, which is not going to trouble the netminder at all. So, the Durham was sitting back and defending here. And the clock counting down. 12 minutes 45 left. Oh, and a chance coming in, but just robbed off him. And another one here. And Dale Lambert tussling in this lock for it. Eventually gets hounded out. Dale Lambert again then to Scott Morrison. Scott Morrison to Johnson. Johnson to Morrison again. But can't get there. And this will be fired down. Yes, it is. But only as far as Dale Lambert, who shoots. And that one's deflected in. Scott Morrison, I think. He's going to claim it. He's Scott Morrison. It may be given to Dale Lambert, but one feels that Morrison was there just turning it in. And we have a game on our hands again. Yeah, Scott Morrison gets it. Time of the goal then, 47-39. And the deficit reduced just to that one goal margin. But one always feels it's a dangerous occupation. And this chance here, and he's given an offside. Well, that's unbelievable. That clearly was deflected, and Scott Morrison can't believe it. And to be perfectly honest, the pictures will tell you he's absolutely right. Yeah. Underway then, Lambert wins it, comes out to Dale Lambert, who flips it in. Anthony Johnson to Scott Morrison. In we go then, Dale Lambert, and it will come out to Ross Lambert, and Ross Lambert's shot off balance is way off target. Good checking on the blue line there from Ross Lambert, managed to get back. Cooper then, Stephen Cooper. Remember, both sides short-handed. And Brabant, has he gone all the way? He has. Brabant's short-handed goal. Brings it back to 6-6. And you just feel that it might just be tipping the Wasps' way. Lambert then. Lambert gets Sean Johnson going, and a chance coming in for Carville, who converts it. Oh well, you can't say anything in this game as Stuart Carville converts the pass from Lambert and brings the deficit on aggregate back to just one. Well, 7-6, and the crowd really are getting their money's worth here. And 50 minutes is the time of the goal. Well, you can hardly breathe in the atmosphere that's been created here by these two sides, putting on a wonderful exhibition of attacking ice hockey. And that's knocked out for Brabant to get on the end of, and he does, on the blue line. And he tries to hold it up with a little dink pass that doesn't get there. And it's knocked down, but it'll be an icing as the Seahawks are back to full strength. And I think perhaps the player making the pass didn't realise that. Under 5 minutes left then in the final period. The scoreboard tells you the Seahawks are leading by 7-6. But still trailed by one goal on aggregate to the Durham Wasps. Shot coming in from Brabant. Andy Donald saves it, flicks it around, gives it to Dale Lambert. Dale Lambert's centre ice pass is not good enough. And it's flicked around and Carville having to work hard to get on the end of that, which he eventually does, and battles it out on the boards. Blaisdell then, Carville again, Carville gives it away in a dangerous position. Blaisdell, and Carville retrieves the situation eventually. Johnson knocking it down, it goes across the ice to Robert Wilkinson. Robert Wilkinson fires it into the corner, and I think that's an offside. Indeed it is. 4 minutes and 2 seconds left running in the match. 7-6 the Seahawks lead, and the match could go either way. A quick couple of goals and the Seahawks have it. Another goal from the Durham Wasps, and well, effectively it could be over there. You wouldn't call this one. I certainly wouldn't. The fans wouldn't. Play brought to a halt as the puck is hidden from view. In it goes then. Blaisdell happy to knock it down the ice, intercepted by Dale Lambert. Dale Lambert retrieves the puck again. Backhands it to Robert Wilkinson. Stephen Cooper trying to dump the puck as it's flipped through. And really, it needs a titanic effort now from the Seahawks. They regain possession through the guise of Ross Lambert. Brabant going one way, the puck going the other way, and that's why he missed it, but he picks it up this time. Good stick play there. Brabant keeping hold of it, and the clock running down. 3 minutes left in the game so far. That is if it doesn't go to overtime, and it won't go to overtime unless the Seahawks can manage to put another one in the back of the Durham net. So Scott Morrison, on the outside of him is Nigel Rhodes. Nigel Rhodes gets it, and well, I think that's going to be ruled offside. A very, very close decision, but it was given. Underway again then, Stephen Johnson in with Brabant, and Brabant getting a lot of ice time in these final seconds. Carville firing it down the ice into the offensive zone. Comes out to Johnson. Anthony Johnson then, Anthony Johnson. 3 goals already on this evening's. Locks it in, and will that be in? Comes out to Dale Lambert. Dale Lambert shoots. Oh, and Salem does ever so well. I don't think he knew too much about it, but he eventually had the awareness to fall on it. And a timeout called then by the Seahawks. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock. The home side, which is the Seahawks, leading by 7-6 on the night, but that won't do. That won't get them to the final. They need to find another goal from somewhere. Underway then, Ian Cooper, Stephen Johnson in for it, comes out. And it breaks to Blaisdell. Blaisdell primes Brabant going down the centre. Andy Donald equal to it. Out to Brabant again. Brabant finds Ian Cooper, whose first time control let him down and enabled the Seahawks to regain possession of the puck. 2 minutes left then in the game. And this will be Andy Donald's probably. And it is. Dale Lambert brings it around, and a degree of urgency needed. Stephen Johnson. Stephen Johnson. Scott Morrison going on the outside. Stephen Johnson. Is he going to find Scott Morrison? He does. He flips it round to Ross Lambert. Ross Lambert then. And the goal is still needed. And an interception there from Wilkinson. Wilkinson dumps the puck. And we'll go back for the icing. In we go then. And it's fired in by Ross Lambert. Dale Lambert there. And Blaisdell again loses out. And the clock's ticking down, and not much more than a minute left in this. Scott Morrison then. Scott Morrison gains the puck. And that's a 2-line pass. Anxious faces there on the Durham bench. They're only a minute and 7 seconds away from their second successive Autumn Cup final. And a minute and 7 is a lot of time in this period. Brabant then dumping the puck Dale Lambert will get on the end of this. Hustle by Cranston, who gets there first. Ross Lambert then. Ross Lambert bringing it away. Through his own blue line to the red line. Finds Dale Lambert. Andy Donald has come off, so we'll have to see whether this press situation... Will can Brabant get on the end of this? No, he can't. He's knocked out. And in it goes. And there! The equaliser! And my goodness me! Drama of the highest order! With 35 seconds left on the clock. And the fans have gone wild as the equaliser has come in. 8-6 on the night. And it's one of the Johnson brothers. And it's Stephen Johnson who's got the equaliser. 8-6 with 45 seconds left. 59-25 on the clock. And we look as though we're going into overtime. Well, and Durham can't believe it. Look at the faces. 59-25 and it's 8-6. Stephen Johnson gets it. And it's a timeout, and Durham devastated by that. They thought they had it. Still, the game's still there. 35 seconds. We were talking a minute ago about a minute and 7 being a long time in ice hockey. Indeed it is. You've seen it. The place has nearly erupted. The roof nearly went off the ice arena this evening as the Seahawks have fetched back a 2-goal deficit early in the third period and levelled it out. 8-6 is the score now. That was the final score at Durham, and if that's the score at the end of this period, we go into overtime and a sudden death playoff situation. Underway then, the clock counting down. And can the final nail be put in the coffin as it's knocked around and gathered? And the drama here as Scott Morrison has it. Stephen Johnson, oh, just past the post. And it comes out to Johnson again. In it goes, oh, and across the face, and well, you can't hardly believe it. The tension in this arena is almost unbearable. That'll be it though, we're going into overtime. We are indeed. And the fans tell you what a magnificent response in the last half of that period that the Humberside Seahawks put up. 8-6 then, into overtime we go. Underway then, overtime, sudden death. The first side to score will go through to the Autumn Cup final. No penalties in this. It's to a finish if we're here. We can be here 40 seconds or we can be here 40 minutes. It's all a question of who scores. It's in there, and Carville will win the tussle for this. No, he's beaten to it, and Brabant comes away, and Brabant shoots, and it hits the outside of the net. Donald probably would have had that. And it's flipped down the ice, and Wilkinson puts it straight back in, and there's an injury on the ice. And I can't quite see who it is. Stephen Johnson then, in with Brabant. Down it goes. Johnson wins it. And Salem feeds it through to Stephen Cooper. Stephen Cooper, and blocked out by the combined efforts of the Johnsons. And it's flicked down the ice, and there'll be a race for the puck. But no, an offside decision given, and this gives the chance to the Humberside Seahawks. And I can tell you, if the Seahawks win this one, the winning goal, the roof will absolutely go off the top of the fight. Ross Lambert then, and Blaisdell in. Comes out to Scott Morrison, who shoots, but it's blocked out by Blaisdell. Ian Cooper then, Ian Cooper fires it down the ice. Rick Brabant looking for Blaisdell, can't find him. And it's flipped away, and it'll come out to Scott Morrison. Scott Morrison flicks it inside. And Ross Lambert loses his puck. And a great save from Andy Donald from Blaisdell. Brabant to Morrison then. Brabant wins it. Cooper to his brother. 2 Coopers this evening. Brabant then, will he try a wraparound goal? No, it comes out, and it's blocked out by Dale Lambert from Blaisdell. Wilkinson tries to fire it in, and there's a possibility here for Nigel Rhodes. And Nigel Rhodes whips it out to Scott Morrison, who tries to come inside. Stuart Carville. Carville collects. And on the outside, and it's whipped across and cut out. And there's a chance there, and should have been put away by Brabant. But the tie still lives, and the Humberside Seahawks are living dangerously. And can they get down the other end and put in a shot? Lambert then, Dale Lambert over his own blue, through to the red, onto the opponent's blue line. Dale Lambert whips it across, and a chance. Oh! And Stephen Johnson, and the net's off its moorings. And the crowd are shouting cheat at Chris Salem, who knocked to the net intentionally off his moorings, according to them, but not according to the officials. Face off then. Stephen Johnson in. Out to Simpson. And a 3-on-2 now. 3-on-2. And Simpson's timely interception. Stephen Johnson then. Going across. Stephen Johnson retaining possession. And all the players fighting furiously for this. One last effort as it comes out to Simpson. Paul Simpson. On the outside of him goes Anthony Johnson. And Sean Johnson also in there, and it's brought away. And no offence given there. The Durham fans scream blue murder, but nothing given. Simpson then sets the attack going. Simpson to his own blue line. Simpson looking for the pass to put Ross Lambert through. Ross Lambert not able to feed it through. And there's a chase on here as Cooper goes for it for the Wasps, and it's knocked across. Oh, and a good piece of work, but he loses out to Simpson, and Morrison hadn't read the pass. He wasn't going forward, and anywhere will do for the Durham Wasps as a line change takes place. And it's across, and it comes out to, Ross Lambert hits the foot of the post. Well, you can hardly believe it. You could cut the atmosphere here. And in again it goes. Nigel Rhodes' shot is blocked out by Salem. And well, Blaisdell shoots, and Andy Donald knocks that one away. Nigel Rhodes cuts it inside, and there's a 3-on-1. And could this be the one? Ross Lambert scores it! And they have won! Ross Lambert puts the Seahawks in the Autumn Cup final. And well, the roof has gone off, and the Humberside Seahawks fans can hardly believe it. And Ross Lambert is getting mobbed. Andy Donald. And the despair is written across the faces of the Durham Wasp side. But it's the Seahawks who have earned the right to play the Nottingham Panthers at Sheffield Ice Arena. Ross Lambert settling the tie. After 4 minutes and 1 second of overtime, Ross Lambert the winner. The Seahawks win on the night by 9 goals to 6. Ross Lambert takes the man of the match for the Seahawks. And for the Durham Wasps, number 66, Ian Cooper. (9-6) then, Peter, at the end of it. Ross Lambert's goal in overtime, 4 minutes into overtime, giving you the trip to the Sheffield Arena. brilliant game. What can you add to that?
Yeah, it was an excellent game. You know, hockey was just benefited from that game, and I think everybody in Humberside, this is what they've strived for, and you know, it's early on in the season yet, but this is the first trophy that's coming up, and we're in with a chance of winning it. You know, it's going to be between us and Nottingham, so I think we're going to see an exciting game there. But tonight should have been a final, I would have said. You know, I don't think you'll ever get any better game than that. We were leading, you know, they went into the lead, and you know, we pulled it back, and last few minutes there, Ross gets a breakaway. We're taking bets on the bench, so Ross is going to miss it, and what does he do? He proves everybody wrong, and he scores the winning goal. You know.
Well, he took it so clinically as well. I mean, it's a 3-on-1 break in the end. I mean, it broke down on the blue line. Good pass fed in, right, and well, you know, just tucked it away so well.
That's right, yeah. I mean, all the games between ourselves and Durham up to now have been excellent games. You know, there's been a few goals between us, but when we went into overtime, we knew we were on our ice. We had fresh legs out. We kept doing the short changes, and it kept us fresh, and, you know, it worked for us in the end.
Now then, turning to the big one then, the final at Sheffield on November the 23rd. Nottingham, 2 matches played against them in the Autumn Cup, 2 defeats. It's not going to be that way in the finals.
That's right, you know, we played them 2 games early on in the season when we beat them, and then they came into the league and the Autumn Cup and they beat us. So, you know, they've all been tight matches either at Nottingham or in here, you know, so it's going to be a good game. We've all got plenty of players. It's going to be try and go 3-line hockey, both teams, and I'm sure you'll see a fast, exciting game in Sheffield.